Hello, coffee beans. How are we doing today? All right, so this is going to be another historical video on my mission series because you guys that haven't been following me, or you have, you know that my goal is to visit every Presidio and mission site in the state of Texas. So I was lucky enough to be able to go to Camp Wood, Texas. I want to say about 5 weeks ago now. Obviously, I'm not there right now and I'm filming this in the future. And yes, my face is this red because it is that hot outside, but it's not as hot as it was when I went to Camp Wood. Right now it's about 101 at 6 p.m. And then when I went to Camp Wood, I got there in the afternoon, so it was pretty toasty. So the first one I'm going to be going to and discussing is Mission San Lorenzo de la Santa Cruz. And yes, I have to look down as I say that because I don't want to say it wrong. And then after we do that one, I'm not sure if I'm going to do a separate video. I might. We'll see. But the other one that I went to is just a site, and that one was for Mission Nuestra Senora de la Candelaria. Do not make fun of my Spanish. So that doesn't exist anymore, but I was able to find the historical markers and the site of where it is. And I believe there's a ranch on most of that property now. So it'd be like really nice if you had a ranch, obviously, but then if you were able to have part of this history on your land, would just be so neat. That would be the most amazing part to me. So if I have time, I will add that in here, or I'll just make its own separate little video just to keep it, you know, as its own. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. And now we're going to go back in time to visit this mission. Okay, y'all, we're here. I'll walk to this monument in a little bit. I almost passed it. Let me just say, this is beautiful out here. I was not expecting this at all, like at all, and I don't want to leave. Like, it's giving me kind of some Colorado vibes. And oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so we're here, and it's definitely just ruins, I'd like to say. Let's see if we can just drive up here. It's kind of sad it's not more kept up. But yeah, I'm just gonna park in the grass, and we're gonna hope there's not any snakes, and we're just gonna walk around. This mission is south of the one in Menard, and I'm sorry for my Menard friends if I'm saying that wrong. If it's Menard, I apologize. I stand corrected. But the one out towards Junction, I'll put the map up because I can't, my head's not clear right now, clearly. But we'll get out and we'll look around and see what's going on here. Okay. So again, I need to watch where I walk. Give you guys an idea. I bet at night the stars are stunning, and if I didn't have to go to work tomorrow, I might just stay. I bet there used to be a bunch of flags there, and unfortunately there's not anymore. But y'all see that out there? I was just not expecting this. Okay, so let's go see. Fortunately, it's not really standing anymore. I always said really, it's not standing. So we're at Mission San Lorenzo from 1762 to 1771. Some history of it. The Franciscan mission of San Lorenzo represents one of the last attempts to convert the Lipan Apache in Spanish Texas. The missionaries hoped to convert the Lipan through the establishment of 2 missions within the Nueces Canyon, known as El Canyon Missions. San Lorenzo and Candelaria, 8 miles to the south, which we'll go to, were unauthorized by the Spanish government and poorly funded. Both missions were established by Felipe Rabago y Terán, captain of Presidio San Saba, in 1762. After requests from the Lipan, Rabago agreed to partially fund and provide military support for the new missions. Rabago supplied 4,000 pesos and 30 soldiers to help protect the missionary effort without permission from the Spanish government. The missions did, however, have the backing of the church. Friar Diego Jimenez was sent to El Canyon to help oversee the mission operation, Initially, some 400 Lipan arrived at San Lorenzo along with Presidio soldiers and their families. Encouraged by the arrival of so many potential converts, the missionary fathers directed the construction of buildings and the planting of corn. Unfortunately, the early success and enthusiasm for the mission did not last. Mission residents faced food shortages, Comanche raids that depleted livestock and destroyed crops, and the constant threat of attacks. Smallpox outbreaks in 1763 and 1764 added to the suffering. The Lipan lost faith in the Spaniards' ability to provide protection. By 1768, the Lipan abandoned San Lorenzo, although few had permanent residence. Shortly thereafter, missionary efforts officially ended as the friars and soldiers were reassigned to new locations. So let's walk. I want that house, just saying. It's very surreal to look at it and just kind of transport yourself as to what it would have looked like with 400 Native Americans here. Okay, so there's a Coca-Cola can sitting in the... That's another story from another time. If you know, you know. That's wild. So this would have been their view. So here's the church. The church was the center of mission life, made from adobe. The church had interior plastered walls painted white with red designs. The floor and roof, constructed of vigas, heavy wooden beams, completed the church's construction. The buildings to the north included a sacristy for storing priestly vestments, communal wine, and church furnishings, and the convento, living quarters for the missionaries. The missionaries oversaw the instruction of new converts, said mass, and guided spiritual affairs. The friars arose daily at sunrise and rang the church bell for mass. In the afternoons and evenings, the bell was rung again for prayers. From their convento, the friars wrote letters, recorded religious events, and enjoyed a cup of hot chocolate or a glass of wine. Masses were held daily, and baptisms, marriage, and funerals were also performed. Children and newly baptized Lipan were expected to learn the catechism and participate in church activities. In all, 114 baptisms, 5 marriages, and 28 Indian burials were recorded. Additional deaths were reported after 2 smallpox epidemics ravaged the mission. The illness took the lives of more than 60 individuals, mostly Indians, including 40 children and 27 adults. And these are some of the artifacts that was found in these church grounds. So here looked like this. The granary, primarily served as a building for storing supplies. The floor of the structure, and it's kind of jarring that there's cars passing by because you can guarantee this was not happening in the 1700s. The floor of the structure is made of stone, and the walls consisted of double rows of brick. Outside the walls, the floor helped keep water out of the building. and these are adobe floors. The careful construction of the granary ensured that food and other necessities stored inside were protected and that rodent activity was minimized. As one of the strongest buildings constructed, the granary also served as a defensive purpose. Its roof, with added parapets or small walls, allowed the granary to function as a bastion. The secondary bastion helped protect San Lorenzo's northern and eastern sides. The parapets provided cover for the small cannons used atop the granary during attacks. Next to the granary, a passageway led to a small gate that allowed access to a spring. The small gate, known as a postern, was easily defended. The south of the granary were several structures that could also hold supplies. These buildings include a structure with a strong stone foundation. The stone construction suggests that this building was likely used as a powder magazine for storing ammunition and gunpowder. So this is what you would see during the 1960 excavations. I might see how far I can walk in there, but I'm gonna not probably do it because there's probably snakes. So let's continue. And it's very hot. I think it's probably 100 degrees right now. Yeah, I think there's snakes because I can hear stuff. But here is the part of the mission here. I'm definitely appreciative of this walkway, for sure. It's such a small space when you're here, when you read about all the things that happened. It's really surreal. Like smallpox outbreaks, funerals, little skirmishes, 400 Native Americans, funerals, weddings. I mean, every kind of emotion took place here. Spanish soldiers and their families lived in the adobe structures that lined the north and west walls. And here's where we are right now, so you guys get an idea. The Lipan also occupied some of the buildings while others camped outside the compound. For the Lipan, the mission served as a temporary refuge or place to acquire food when available. The Indians came and went throughout the year to hunt bison or harvest prickly pear cacti. While at the mission, the Lipan were expected to follow a strict routine that included daily mass, religious instruction, chores, labor in the fields, and vocational training. To aid in these efforts, Christianized Tlaxcalan groups from Mexico were brought in by the Spanish to serve as examples to the Lipan. Nevertheless, efforts to convert the Lipan were complicated by their refusals to live at the mission permanently. The Tlaxcalan, if I'm saying that right, converts labored in the fields and helped to build the aqueducts, which, I'll put it up here, is irrigation canals used to water the mission crops. Given the reluctance of the Lipan to settle at San Lorenzo, the work of the Tlaxcalans was vital for the daily operations of the mission. Food shortages were common, and the missionaries struggled to feed the mission population. Information about the mission diet comes from archival and archaeological data. These show that sheep, goats, cattle, chicken, and pigs were brought to the mission. Local game, including deer, rabbits, freshwater fish, and birds, supplemented the diet, were likely obtained by the Lipan. Old world spices were also purchased in Mexico, along with sugar and chocolate. In addition, corn, squash, and melons were planted with some success. And here is an example of inventory for the mission. I'm just so bummed that I can't walk in that. I mean, these benches, this is like not really well kept in here. Like there's no way I'm gonna walk and sit on that bench right now. Like it's just not happening. Honestly, I do wish I had a house like right there, because if that was your own private property, you could totally like dig for artifacts, because I certainly would, and just see what's there, because obviously it would have carried over to their land, and I just think that's really neat. And now we are here. Let's look around here. Oh, there's a deer back there, guys. There it goes, because that's someone's property. So the bastion was one of the most important buildings at the mission. Built from adobe blocks, this defensive structure was strategically located along the mission's southwest corner. The bastion protected the south and west walls and was manned by Presidio soldiers. The granary in the northeast corner, where we just were, functioned as a secondary bastion and protected the mission's north and east walls. As an unauthorized mission, that's so cool, San Lorenzo lacked support and as a result was poorly supplied. The few soldiers living at the mission were ill-equipped to defend against frequent Comanche raids. Their families struggled as well. Often, the mission's inhabitants found themselves underfed and lacking vital supplies. Mission artifacts show both military and domestic sides of mission life. Pottery fragments, copper pots, gun parts, lead shot, and decorative buttons are among the items found near the bastion. Many of San Lorenzo's inhabitants brought their belongings with them. Any new items had to be shipped via mule trains from Mexico. These deliveries were frequent targets for raiding. A typical household in the 18th century was stocked with Mexican majolica plates, cups and bowls, copper pots, and coarse earthenware ollas and jars for cooking and storage. Occasionally, foreign manufactured pottery also made its way to San Lorenzo from France, England, and even China. And that's an example of a child's toy that they found, which I don't have that I can show you. Like this whizzer or noise maker above on the right, and copper alloy buttons to the left show the more domestic side of mission life. I actually turned around really quick because I really feel like I'm being watched. No, not from the house next to me. It feels really heavy here. Inside it doesn't still look that clear, and with all of those flags. It's hot. So I was gonna, wow, really hot. Dumb to be out like this. So I was gonna go to the other mission that's close by here, but all that's really left is a historical marker, and part of it is on private property, of course, because Texas. I say that with love. I'm a Texan, but it's frustrating. There's another historical site I went to in time that I wanted to see, like the old courthouse, and it unfortunately was in someone's ranch, so you can't really get to it. So I'm kind of having a moment right now because my car is pretty low to the ground, and I'm up here on a high hill, and I've got to get get through this grass and dirt to get back to the road, and it's really steep, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm not going to scratch my car in the front. This is why, guys, that my mother had a leash on my wrist when I was a child, because I'd get really excited about something and like run off. And that's kind of the case right here. I didn't really plan on this. Otherwise, I should have just like parked on the street. So we're gonna hope that I can just get down this very slowly and gingerly. And my car's name is Ginger. Oh, dang. I'm like really hot up here. This is why you need an SUV or a Jeep. Okay, slow. Slow, don't scratch the bottom. I'm going like as slow as I freaking can. And I can't just like pull out on this major road because part of me is still up there. Okay, ready, set? I did it. Okay, now we're pulling right back into Camp Wood. This isn't bad though. There's like nice hotels over here. Okay. Try a chicken strip basket, Dairy Queen. I've been there. Like we know each other really well. Like I don't know why they would put that in Texas. Like try it. Like everyone's tried that. Like what? That's like putting on McDonald's. Try a cheeseburger. It's just like. Duh. Like everyone's had one. All right, we're back. We have gone 192.2 miles. Love you guys bunches. Please subscribe.